Hey everyone, and welcome to the Kim Wright YouTube channel. Well, we've seen the special edition. Now we have to dive deep into the original box, the box that started it all. June means there's two boxes, and the second one has only just arrived. So let's have a peek inside and see what we've got. Hey guys, so before I start the video, I just want to explain something very important that happened during the start of the filming that I was doing. I accidentally dropped something on my laptop, which I use as a camera, and let's just say the file got corrupted. I think because something got hit in my computer, the screen suddenly went funny. I think it was the motherboard. I need to get that checked to make sure that's okay. But I think everything's reasonably okay, but I just wanted to explain why, because I got to this coin here, and as I held the coin closer to the camera to show you something, I accidentally dropped it on the keyboard, which made the screen go funny, and I think it froze the camera. I need to get that checked to make sure that everything's okay. I think everything's all right, but we'll see later on. So enjoy the video, enjoy the remake of the video that I did. Always comment, like, and subscribe, and hope you enjoy the video. Well, here it is. Let's open it and have a little look inside. I wonder what's in here. Ooh, that's interesting. So already we've got quite an interesting t-shirt. This is the pudding that the Dudleys made in Chamber of Secrets, I think it was. And it actually looks less appetizing on this t-shirt than it did in the films and described in the book. But I think that's the point. Homemade pudding made by Mrs. Dudley. And it was dropped by Dobby to prevent Harry from going back to Hogwarts. It's really cool, isn't it? I think it's great. I think I really like this t-shirt. I'm definitely wearing this t-shirt tomorrow. I love the flower pattern on it, which is great. Absolutely brilliant. Loving it. Now, I absolutely love my notebooks. I think this notebook is great. So this notebook here has got a metallic back into it. It hasn't really. It's sort of got a fold, so it opens very similar to how the Majora's Marauder's map opens in both the film and the book. Opens like that. It's got these lovely footprints on the side. If I show you the pages also has footprints. Doesn't have who the footprints belong to. I think that might have been too much detail. But this is just awesome. Moody, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs. Lovely detail on the book is just brilliant. And if you look here, I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. Bing. This is well detailed. I'm loving it. I'm finding it difficult to decide which one I'm actually liking more. So this one here is quite interesting. I'm going to keep it on its backing because of the detail on the backing as well. But everyone remembers in Philosopher's Stone, there's a scene where Harry Potter interacts with this snake at the London Zoo. And when the snake is released by Harry, comes out with a little thanks. That is so cool. I'm loving how it says thanks. It's just brilliant. But here, it actually says underneath, bred in captivity, which is pretty cool because it's the I think it's the kind of connection Harry has with this snake. They're both bred in captivity, and they're both desperate to be let out. The only difference I can see between the snake and Harry is that the snake is portrayed as a display, whereas the Dudleys want to hide Harry as much as possible. They don't want anything to do with him. That's why they put him in the cupboard under the stairs, whereas this guy is put in a box behind the glass. Both of which are bred by captivity, which is brilliant. The other connection that I think is that after Harry releases the snake, of course the snake escapes. He's going to go back to the wild. With Harry is rescued by Hagrid, and is taken away from the Dudleys to a place of safety, which I think is very similar to the snake. They both escape their captivities and go and live, hopefully, a successful life. We never see what happens to the snake. Sadly, because I know the London Zoo very well, my imagination would probably be that the snake would either end up back in the glass case or possibly isolated for a couple of days because they don't know what the snake has done. I think the snake was a python, and pythons are incredibly dangerous. But if the snake hasn't done any particular harm, it'll most likely just get put back in the glass. It depends on what the snake does outside of captivity. Now there's a coin. I had a coin that was very similar to this that was shaped like Voldemort. And this coin is very similar. I think it's a reference to the Chamber of Secrets. As you can see, you've got the basilisk on one side, and you've got the actual mouthpiece, the mouth statue that's in Chamber of Secrets, which hides the basilisk. So the mouth opens, and out comes the basilisk. It kind of reminds me of a Harry Potter game where you flick a coin and there is heads or tails, which is pretty cool. I wonder if there is a Harry Potter game that uses these type of coins. Maybe someone can comment in the background if they know what kind of game this is. But this is pretty cool, and I'm loving this. This is such a cool coin. Got to find out where I put the Voldemort coin and put this with it. I'm pretty sure it's safe somewhere. Oh, I already love this one. So a lot of people who've seen my videos before will know that I'm more of a Fantastic Beast fan than a Harry Potter fan, just because of my love of creatures. I love the mythological beasts. I will watch the Harry Potter films if there's a beast involved. So my favourite Harry Potter film, amazingly, is actually Prisoner of Azkaban, because I love Buckbeak. I love the detail that they put in Buckbeak, which was just so fantastic. Basilisk is my second one of the Harry Potters because I think it's just really cool and amazing that something as giant. I mean, the pipes must have been big in Hogwarts to have held such a big snake like that. When Hermione first suggested pipes in the film, my first thought was, oh well, the snake can't be any bigger than a python. Again, a reference to the previous film, to Philosopher's Stone. It can't be that bigger than a python. And then when you saw how big the snake actually was, those pipes must have been big to have held a big snake like that. And bearing in mind, everyone was paralysed, not attacked by this snake. No one was ever attacked by the snake. There was no sign of an attack. Even Moaning Myrtle was technically not attacked. She was killed from the sight of the basilisk. and everyone else was paralyzed through reflection of the snake. But no one was actually attacked. It's interesting that you've got a snake roaming around Hogwarts, but no one has been physically attacked by such a snake, which makes me think that none of them were provoked, that the snake wasn't provoked. You see the difference. This is why I'm amazed that people thought that Aragorn was the bad one, because you saw how easily Aragorn was to attack Ron and Hermione. But when it came to the Basilisk, no one was attacked. No one was bitten. No one was eaten. There was no physical sign of attack. Yet with Aragorn, who was so quick to send his children to attack Ron and Harry, you'd think that there would have been a clue there. The spider attacks, the snake kind of just wanders off after attacking someone. Whether that was I could imagine the Basilisk is probably a little bit more dangerous in real life. But that was a pretty unique detail that no one ever thought about in the film. And it was just brilliant. I just loved it. In the book, I don't know if they talk about whether the Basilisk attacked anyone physically. I need to read the books again. But the fact that this detail had gone unnoticed by anyone was just fantastic. Anyway, so Buckbeak and Basilisk, and of course in the new Fantastic Beasts film, Niffler touches my heart every single time. I love my Niffler. I've got so many. To show you how much I've got so many Nifflers, ironically not around me right now, that it's brilliant. That I love them so much. Probably the Bowtruckle is my second favourite, followed very, very quickly by his name I've completely forgotten, but the tiger one that they find in number 2, that one is just so incredibly cute. I think that's brilliant. So, of course, I'm going to enjoy, try not to reflect any light, this picture here. This is a drawing of Newt Scamander. I haven't taken the plastic off yet. No breakages yet. But this is a sort of drawing of Newt Scamander, which is just, look at the detail that's on that face. Is just brilliant. It kind of makes him look more mysterious than he actually is. But you've got to imagine, the shading here is just brilliant. There's a part of me that thinks that this is actually a page from his actual book, his actual original manuscript, just because the style of the drawing is very similar to the drawings of the mythological animals that he meets. So it wouldn't surprise me. It's actually coloured the blue eyes. It wouldn't surprise me if he's drawn this himself. I can't imagine he would happily stand still for someone else to draw him. Maybe his brother, but certainly not. He would just sit there. With as much talent as Newt Scamander has, it doesn't surprise me that he's such a brilliant magizoologist. It's just such a shame that he was expelled from Hogwarts. That was the kind of story that I would love to have seen in Fantastic Beasts. I know that the third film is currently being rewritten, but it would have been the kind of story that I would like to have seen in any of the 5 films. Why exactly was Newt Scamander? We know that Newt Scamander was expelled because he let a beast loose, in theory. And then we learnt about Leta Lestrange. Now, my theory as to what it was that it was Leta who released the animal, because they both were outsiders, but Newt took the blame for Leta, and then that was why Dumbledore had such a keen connection to him. You saw it again with Harry, when Harry was accused of releasing the basilisk snake. It was almost like Dumbledore saw Newt at that very moment. They were both blamed for something that they didn't do. Now, the only reason people would believe that Newt did it is that Newt has such a strong connection, even in the school, to the animals. why he would really. In fact, one of the things that I pondered about was whether there was a connection. You know, there was a part of me that thought that we were going to see Moaning Myrtle again, and whether we were going to see a young Hagrid again. Now, the problem we've got with this is that we don't know the actual timeline to it. There was a suggestion that it was kind of World War Two, between World War Two and World War One, because there was mention of Newt being part of the dragons in, we assume, World War One, and then when they were talking about the battle between Gringotts and the rest of the world, there was an image of another war, which could suggest World War Two. Now, that may have been the timeline between where they were. They were sort of on the crossfire between World War One and World War Two. And we know that Jacob had a link to World War One as well, because he used to fight in it. Now, I need to check whether there's actually a date in which Moaning Myrtle was killed, because my first theory, when I heard that Newt was blamed for releasing a beast, was that he was apart from Hagrid, he was also suspected of releasing the basilisk snake. Now, both Hagrid and Newt were expelled in the same way. They both had their wands snapped. So it wouldn't surprise me that both of them were accused of releasing the basilisk, and both of them were expelled for that reason. Now, we know that the real person who did it was Mr. Riddle. But the thing that bothers me is that would kind of suggest it wasn't that. And this may be where the films don't quite tally with the Fantastic Beasts films, is that obviously Dumbledore is a lot more older. So he's got a more visible beard than in the backdrop of Hagrid's expulsion compared to when Newt was expelled. So I can believe there's a slight time difference between both incidents. But interestingly, Basilisk is the only animal that is reported to have been released in Hogwarts. So it begs the question, did Hogwarts cover up the beast that supposedly either Lita or Newt released into Hogwarts? In which case, is it the fact that the basilisk actually had a victim, that they reported the basilisk, but they haven't reported the animal that Newt released? Apart from the fact that it is referenced in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Newt admits that he was expelled from Hogwarts. But that was written during slightly after Harry Potter's era. So I'd be interested in trying to, if anyone has seen a sort of timeline between the Fantastic Beast incident and when the Harry Potter incident happens, including the bit where you have Tom Riddle and Hagrid's little bit in there, and Moaning Myrtle's death. If anyone actually has sat down and made that kind of connection, that would be interesting. If someone could link that in my comments, that would be absolutely fantastic. And I'll be able to have a look and express my own theories. You'd think a beast roaming around Hogwarts would have had more attention than it actually did. I think it's because Jude Law is so young in the Fantastic Beasts films that it's kind of hard to make that kind of connection. But maybe the basilisk is linked to what happened all those times. We don't know. But that is definitely going to try and go up on my wall at some point. I love it. It's brilliant. Now, in the last video, we did actually win something. I think this is going to be another one where it's... I need to put this... Whoa! I was not expecting that! Woo! I I've spent all this time not winning anything from these cards. I've got 10% off the next renewal. That's 20% off 2 renewals that I got. Now, that I haven't contacted Geek Gear to ask. Oh, it says email support@geekgearbox.com to claim your prize. I'll probably do that and say is that I've got 10% off, but I'm already subscribed and ordering it. It may be that I'll have 10% off my price, which might not be much. But that is pretty. I mean, 2 wins. I don't usually win these at all, and then back-to-back wins all the way through. That is brilliant. I wonder what other prizes you can get from these. That is. If I'm shocked, it's because there's been times where I've been on this and I've gone no win as always. Boom. Twice I've won this now. Back to back. That is pretty cool. Wow. That probably will never happen again. But that is awesome. That is just absolutely brilliant. What's next? Okay. Oh, wow. So once again, I have to make a comment that... Oh no, this isn't the special edition, is it? Normally, in past videos, you'd hear me go, oh, this is more detailed, this should have been in the special edition. This is quite interesting. It's got a little blue marble on the edge of here. It's a very plain original stick with this curvature design on it. It's almost like a snake design, like a cobra's. Maybe the wand is held like that, which is pretty cool. So that acts like a little. Oh no, like so that bit's at the back. Thumb goes like that. Sort of acts as a little thumb rest right there. So you got more of a kind of stiff movement. So someone who is quite stiff, maybe if they had it, maybe if they held it so it's a little thumb rest. Still a bit stiff, but that's pretty cool. As you can see, I'm holding it a little bit like that. That's cool. Or maybe have it grip like that and have the thumb and that be a little palm rest. And again, little stiff movement. Not as flexible as the others. This is actually really amazing. Wow, this is pretty cool. I think a wizard would certainly have a wand. Well, duh. But I mean, a wizard would have a wand like this. Possible. I mean, this kind of looks like the wand that the BBC's Merlin had, which you imagine wasn't that much in the way of a detailed stick. He got it from the Freys when they were trying to take Arthur away. This would be the same kind of wand that he would have. And I imagine, because of the way it's so simply done, maybe a forest fairy would have a wand like this because they want to keep it as natural as possible. And I'm thinking water as well because of the blue marble. I kind of imagine if Triton ever came. No, not Triton. I was going to say Triton if he ever came up on land, but it's a bit too plain for Triton. Possibly one of his daughters may have had this, but again, it's a little bit too plain. Do you know what? No. Lord of the Rings. What's her name? Galadriel. I would have said no because it's not white, and I would have imagined she would have wanted something quite white. But the only reason I'm saying it is because this is very similar to the jar handle that holds the water that Frodo looks through and sees supposedly the future if he fails. I would imagine she would probably have had a wand very similar to that. She may even have held it like that, like it was a handle. Possible. That may be how you would hold the wand. So that bit is actually in the palm. But this is pretty cool. I wonder what it's called. Let's have a look. What are you called? Okay, it's called the Sempramidra Medri. Okay. Sempramidri wand. Might have to do some research to find out what that actually means, if it's not a made up word. 13 3/4 inches, which is the type of style of wand anyway. Sapphire dust. Okay, so it's someone worthy. Maybe the Malfoys would have had a wand like... It's too simple for the wands. But now that I've heard that it's sapphire dust, yeah, someone who's more wealthy, would have had a wand like this. And made out of twisted ash. Twisted ash? I mean, ash is quite a popular wood. I probably should have guessed that from how twisted that is. But this, I mean, the wands that we get are so detailed, it's amazing. I might design my own wand on the next wand design collection. I doubt I'll get it, but this is pretty good. My biggest hope if they do another wand design is that as well as the wand, so you get your wand design, they also make a copy of the actual design itself. Because I think that would be quite interesting, seeing people's sort of ideology as to the kind of wands that they design. I think this is absolutely superb. I love it. I think this is so, so clever. This is cool. I love the wand. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So unlike the special edition, we do actually have a checklist. Woo! Well done to, I think her name is Magicalari. I may have said that name wrong. I apologise. But she is the social spotlight for today. Congratulations. Sublime Stationery, Lost Toad Frowned, and Truth Serum. Are they clues to what's coming up next week? Next month? I'm not sure. So, we have the Pudding t-shirt, which I think is really good. Licensed and exclusive Newt prints, which I'm loving already. I've got to find all the others and make sure they're safe. The Cunning coin, which I think is the Chamber of Secrets coin right here. Unique Ones exclusive, the Samparamadri wand. Licensed and exclusive Maruda's map notebook, which you'll see me using at some point. And exclusive monthly pin, because we get a monthly pin every time. The Thanks pin, which is our little snakes pin, which is awesome. So these are all pretty cool. So which is my favourite? I'm actually finding it difficult to find one that I think is favouritism. Certainly top of the list, just because I'm a Fantastic Beasts fan, has to be the print, which is just brilliant. And just because I really like notebooks, the Maruda's map has to come second. Followed very closely, and I think it is because of the cleverness, the wand, and the snake pin. Absolute brilliant. Love it. Love it. Absolute brilliant. So, I've got to edit this video now, make sure everything's okay. Catch you guys a little bit later. Stay safe, stay well, keep the magic in your fingertips, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.